Ever feel like life's just too much? You wake up and all you want to do is crawl back under the covers, hide from the world because it feels like everything's falling apart. Maybe you've had days where you just stare at the ceiling, wondering if it's even worth trying anymore. You know the days I'm talking about when nothing seems to go right, when the weight of the world feels like it's pressing down on you. It's exhausting. Mentally, emotionally, physically, and in those moments it feels like giving up is the only option. I've been there too. I know how heavy that burden feels, how overwhelming it is when it seems like you're alone in it. But what if I told you something that might change how you see those tough days? What if I told you that those moments when everything feels out of control, when you feel weakest, could actually be the ones that shape you into the strongest version of yourself? I know it sounds like something you'd hear in a motivational speech. But stay with me because those darkest times, those struggles that feel endless, can be exactly what you need to grow stronger. It's all about perspective. So before you shut this down and say, "No way, not today," let me ask you this. Have you ever thought that maybe, just maybe, this moment of struggle could be the one that turns things around for you? Here's the secret: resilience. It's not something you're born with, it's something you build. It's the strength that gets you through storms, challenges, and setbacks. It's the ability to stand tall when the world pushes you down and you feel like everything's falling apart. Life isn't easy, and it wasn't meant to be. We all face moments that challenge our strength, patience, and will to keep going. But those tough moments, the ones we want to escape or forget, are what shape us into the people we're meant to become. Resilience isn't just about bouncing back after a setback, it's about growing stronger with every challenge you face. Think about it. When you lift weights, your muscles tear and it hurts. But as they heal, they come back stronger. Life's challenges work the same way. Every tough moment, every obstacle teaches us something new. It's painful, sure, but it's how we build strength. Take J.K. Rowling, for example. Before she became one of the wealthiest and most successful authors in the world, she was a struggling single mom, living on welfare and rejected by multiple publishers. Imagine the pain of rejection, the doubt that must have crept in. But she kept going. She kept believing in herself, and now Harry Potter is a global phenomenon. Her resilience wasn't some magical gift, it was something she built, brick by brick, through every failure and rejection. Or think about Thomas Edison. He gave the world the light bulb, but not before failing thousands of times. Imagine the frustration of trying over and over and seeing no results. But Edison didn't see these setbacks as failures, he saw them as lessons. He said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." His resilience wasn't about avoiding failure, it was about using it as fuel to keep moving forward. But you don't need to look at famous figures to understand resilience. Think about your own life. Have you ever faced a challenge that seemed impossible to overcome? Maybe it was a relationship that ended, a job that didn't work out, or a dream that felt too far away. At the time, it probably felt like the end of the road. But now, looking back, you can see how that challenge helped you grow. You learn new things about yourself, about your strength, your patience, and your ability to keep going when everything around you told you to quit. Resilience is a choice. It's deciding in the toughest moments that you're not going to quit. You're going to get back up, even when it feels like life's knocked you down too many times. Every setback, every obstacle, adds another layer to your strength. You may not see it right away, but in time you'll look back and realize how far you've come. So when life gets tough, don't shy away from the struggle. Embrace it. Because it's through these tough moments that you build the strongest version of yourself. Think about the moments in your life that have shaped you the most. The tough moments. The ones you never thought you could get through. And yet, here you are. You've made it. And in that process, you've grown stronger. It might not have felt like it at the time, but every challenge you faced has contributed to the person you are today. That's the paradox of struggle. It's often the hardest times that shape us the most. We tend to view struggle as something to avoid, a detour from the life we want. But what if struggle is the path? What if it's the very thing that makes us stronger? Without adversity, there is no opportunity for growth. Without pressure, there's no diamond. Life doesn't give us strength through comfort, it gives it to us through hardship, patience, and resilience. Take Nelson Mandela, for example. We know him as a symbol of peace and justice, but his journey wasn't easy. For 27 years, he was imprisoned for standing up against apartheid in South Africa. Imagine the isolation, the fear, the endless days in a small, cold cell. Yet, instead of being broken by his struggles, Mandela's time in prison became a period of growth. In those harsh conditions, he built the strength to continue his fight. The hardships didn't just shape his resolve, they strengthened it, preparing him to emerge as the leader who would help dismantle an unjust system and unite a divided nation. Similarly, take Oprah Winfrey, a woman who is synonymous with success today but faced unimaginable adversity early on. She grew up in poverty, endured abuse, and was rejected by multiple television stations. But through every struggle, Oprah's resilience grew. Her struggles didn't define her failure, they became the stepping stones to her immense success. Every setback became a lesson in perseverance. She learned from them, adapted, and ultimately became one of the most influential people in the world. Oprah turned pain into power, and that transformation is something many of us can learn from. And it's not just the famous figures who embody the transformative power of struggle. Think of someone you know personally, maybe a family member, a friend, or even yourself. Have you ever faced a challenge that seemed impossible to overcome? Yet, somehow you got through it. And in that process, you discovered strength and resilience you didn't know you had. Maybe it was a tough breakup that made you question everything, or a job loss that turned your world upside down. In the moment, it felt like you couldn't go on. But you did. And you came out stronger on the other side. The story of Thomas Edison, the inventor of the light bulb, is another perfect example. He failed thousands of times before he found the right filament that would make the light bulb work. His teachers called him too stupid to learn anything, and many others believed he was wasting his time. But Edison didn't see failure as an obstacle. He saw it as a lesson. "I've not failed," he said. "I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Edison's struggles didn't break him, they fueled his perseverance, and they led to one of the most revolutionary inventions in history. You see, struggle isn't something that happens to us, it's something that happens for us. It builds patience, perseverance, and resilience. It strengthens our character, teaches us how to overcome, and ultimately helps us grow. Think back to a time in your life when you felt overwhelmed, when you didn't think you could go on. At the time, it might have felt like the end. But now, looking back, don't you see how it changed you? How it made you more capable, more resourceful, and more confident? The truth is, you wouldn't be who you are without those struggles. It's the tough moments that teach us how to be tough. It's the challenges that make us stronger. And though we can't always control what happens to us, we can always control how we respond. Every time we rise from a fall, we're not just surviving, we're becoming stronger. It's a gradual process, and it doesn't always feel like it. But every struggle adds a layer of strength, resilience, and wisdom to our being. So the next time you face a challenge, remember this. The struggle is not there to break you, it's there to make you stronger. Embrace it, grow from it, and know that each difficulty is helping to shape you into the best version of yourself. So, I'll ask you again, are you ready to keep going? Are you ready to take that next step, no matter how small, and keep building your mental resilience? Because I promise you, this is just the beginning. You've already shown strength by recognizing that there's more to you than meets the eye. You've fought battles, faced fears, and come out the other side. Now, it's time to push forward. I know the journey ahead may still seem daunting. The fear, the doubt, the uncertainty, they all creep in, telling you it's easier to stay where you are, to not push through that wall. But here's the truth. You've already survived every challenge life has thrown at you so far. You've learned from every setback. And every single moment, every tiny step forward has brought you to this point. It's okay to be scared. It's okay to feel uncertain. The most successful people in the world aren't those who never felt fear, they're the ones who acted in spite of it. You don't need to have everything figured out. You just need to keep moving forward. One step at a time. Think about it. Every time you take a step, no matter how small, you're building the resilience you need for the next challenge. And when you look back, you'll realize these small steps are what created the momentum. They are what lead to change, growth, and transformation. You don't have to leap across the finish line today. Just keep moving forward, even if it's just a little bit at a time. No matter how uncertain the road may seem, remember this. You're not alone. We all face struggles, doubts, and fears. It's what makes us human. But it's also what connects us. Every person you see around you, every success story, started with a decision to keep going. They faced adversity, just like you, and they kept moving forward. So take that first step today. Maybe it's a small one, like having a difficult conversation, setting a new goal, or taking care of yourself when you feel overwhelmed. Whatever it is, it's a step in the right direction. You've got what it takes to succeed, to rise stronger than ever before. And I know that the journey you're about to take will only prove to you just how resilient you are. Now is the time to push forward. You've already come so far. Keep going. Because your story isn't over yet, it's just beginning. Keep moving forward, no matter how small the step. You're not alone, and the strength you need is already inside you. One step at a time. You've got this.